Hi everybody, today we're here on the set of Happily Divorced with the world famous, world renowned and amazing Fran Drescher. How are you today, Fran?
That was a nice intro. I'm great, thank you.
Had to pump it up, you know.
You weren't exaggerating.
Oh, I know, right?
The Nanny's very successful worldwide.
Yes, it is. It's it's one of my favorites.
Makes traveling a pleasure.
I bet you it does, right?
They all know who I am.
Wherever you go, there you are, and they know you. They go, we love you, and they don't even know you. They go, you're the nanny, right?
Yes,
And
I'm the nanny, I'm la niñera, I'm la tata, I'm, you know, whatever they call it in that country.
Gotta love it. So now you're on the second season of this show.
I am, yes.
How's it going? It's going pretty
wonderfully. Oh, we're so happy, and the audiences have been great, and we're really well received, and we're having a wonderful time shooting it. I mean, you know, it's very challenging to make the show as good as I believe it is, and but you know, we have an unbelievable crew and writers and cast, and every week we, you know, we knock it out of the park, I think.
Yeah, and it's running right now, actually.
Yes, we just started last week, and this week was our second episode. And
on TV Land is?
TV Land, only on TV Land.
I love it.
All the new shows are Wednesday at 10:30, right after Hot in Cleveland.
Good, that's a good place to be.
It's a great lead, and we're very grateful.
Well, you know, this is the crazy thing. When we were talking a little earlier, you told me that this is based on your real life. The story is based on your real life.
Well, it certainly is inspired by my real life. My ex-husband is now living as a gay man. And unlike the couple in the show, we didn't break up because of that. That happened after our divorce, but we are happily divorced now. He is gay, I am straight, and a lot of, you know, the psychological and emotional growth that occurred post-divorce, we are infusing into the characters that I play, and John Michael Higgins plays, being my ex-husband, Peter.
Now, Peter, he's involved in the writing process?
Yes, he's my partner, and he's the one of the executive producers, and he's the head writer. And you know, every week, you know, we go through different, you know, kind of versions of where the script is, from the point where it's conceptualized, which is my job, and I have my own little room of writers. And then I assign it to a writer to write, and I give notes on that. And then when I feel it's ready, it goes to Peter's room, and then they work on it some more, and then it goes to the stage, and then they work on it some more.
Is this the first show that you've executive produced, or is this, you know?
No, this is the third show.
This is your third show, okay.
I've executive produced. I was an executive producer on The Nanny, and then I did Living with Fran, and now, yeah, Happily Divorced.
And you cast yourself as a florist because you like flowers so much. That's what I heard.
It is true.
Yeah.
You know, arranging flowers is considered a Zen meditation.
Yeah.
And I get a great deal of pleasure and calmness out of doing that. So, you know, we were trying to think, when Peter and I were creating the show, what Fran was going to do in it, and I thought, you know, I have to work with props every week, and you know, then I wanted to do something that I enjoy and that would make for a pretty set.
Yeah, well, it is pretty. When I walked in, I go, it's all about the flowers and the feel.
It's very bright and cheerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get to take home some flowers each week.
Hey.
So, you know, it's a win-win.
Well, some of the cast members that you have, too, here are really interested and been around a little while. How is it working with them? You know, you have some favorites that you like to work with, or you just love all of them?
I think certainly, you know, working with Rita Moreno and, you know, Robert Walden, they're fantastic as my parents. And Renee Taylor has come back to play my mom's neighbor, who played my mother in The Nanny, and she's fantastic too. And working with John Michael Higgins is a sublime experience. We work in a very similar fashion. He's hysterical, and I think that he was very intrigued as an actor to play a man that's 46 and now living as a gay man, but had lived his entire life as a straight man, and then as an adult straight married man. Our supporting cast of Tashina Arnold as, you know, my best friend Judy, and we're writing to her strengths. She's a fantastic singer in real life, and so I wanted to develop the character and make her a struggling singer in the show. And then Valente Rodriguez, who has done, you know, so many wonderful sitcoms and is so talented, and he plays, you know, my sidekick in the flower business and a confidant to Peter and us all. You know, he's kind of like got all ears and knows everything that's going on, very much in the same way that the butler did on The Nanny.
Wow, and the word on the street is that a long time ago, you started off as a hairdresser. I'd like to hear about that.
True. That's true. And when I first moved out to California, I used to cut a lot of my friends' hairs. I like doing men's more than women.
More
usually.
precision, yeah.
So I've cut Dan Aykroyd's hair, Dennis Quaid's hair, David Caruso's hair.
Wow.
I know where everybody's bald spot is.
Oh yeah, you got to cover those babies up, don't you? Well, that's awesome. And then, you got into...
If all else fails, that's what I'll do.
Oh yeah,
I'll cut men's hair.
You could do flowers and hair, right?
Exactly.
Be creative.
Exactly.
So now, how did you really get started after that? Like, what was your, first paying job as an actress, for example?
Well, I did commercials at first, and though I didn't realize that, I was always casting commercials where I actually didn't speak. Even though I was a principal, I didn't really make the connection that I didn't sound particularly commercial. But they liked my face and my energy, and my auditions were always good. So I'd get something, and then there'd be like some jingle over me. I didn't even realize that I wasn't actually ever going to be heard.
Well, you had a very distinct voice, and they didn't realize that was just a gold mine. Once you found the right place. Everybody knows you for your voice, right?
We figured out how to monetize it.
I love it.
And then I did a small part on Saturday Night Fever.
Okay.
And that got me to California, where I got a bigger part in another Paramount film called American Hot Wax, playing opposite Jay Leno.
Yep.
And that turned into a permanent residence, and I actually moved out of my bedroom in Queens when I was still living with my parents, and moved to California with Peter. Okay. And we never looked back.
Now, we're here to talk about something that's very important to you. It's called Cancer Schmancer. Now, I know that you have yourself actually had a battle with cancer, and you've beat it, correct?
Yes, I did. This June 21st, I will be 12 years well.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's a very life-altering experience. And I think it's a tough membership, but once you become part of the club, your life has changed forever. And I turn lemons into lemonade. But when life bites you on the butt one Wednesday afternoon and it changes forever, you gotta, you're gonna kick and scream and cry at first, but say, why, Lord, why me? But then you gotta already stop and pick yourself up and dust yourself off and play the hand that's been dealt you, and play it as courageously and elegantly as you possibly can. And so, I first wrote the New York Times bestseller, Cancer Schmancer, because I didn't want what happened to me to happen to other people by means of misdiagnosis and mistreatment. Took me 2 years and 8 doctors to get a proper diagnosis, and by the grace of God, I was still in stage 1. I feel like I got famous, I got cancer, and I live to talk about it, so I'm talking. But, as I started on the lecture circuit talking about the book, I realized what happened to me has happened to many, many millions of Americans. Unfortunately, though, for many, late-stage diagnosis of cancer is a terrible consequence for misdiagnosis and mistreatment. And so I realized that the book was not the beginning, was not the end, but just the beginning of what's become a life mission for me. And so the next logical step was starting the Cancer Schmancer movement, which is my nonprofit organization, of which I'm the founder and president. And we're a 3-prong organization. We certainly believe that early detection is the key. Stage 1 is the cure. If you catch it on arrival, 95% survival. So that's the beginning to educate Americans to recognize the early warning whispers of the cancers that may affect them. And then don't put your head in the sand. Don't go into denial when it may be easy to do so. But condition yourself to saying, this may be nothing, but God forbid it's something. I've got to, stay alive and well for my family and friends and go to the doctor. So the second prong of the organization is, of course, prevention, and we're about to launch a major campaign called the Cancer Answer.
Okay.
And part of that is trashing cancer, which is going through your home, because the house is actually one of the most toxic places you can be, and questioning what you're buying to clean your home with, what your personal care items are, what you put on your skin, and what you put in your mouth, what you eat. And 95% of most cancers is environmental. So we can start making different choices today, and in so doing, we can dramatically reduce our risk of cancer. So, go onto the Cancer Schmancer website, cancerschmancer.org, and learn more about the Cancer Answer and trashing cancer, and start making adjustments in your home, because there are more healthy alternatives for everything. And it's really important, because 1 out of 2 men and 1 out of 3 women will get cancer in their life. And the children of today, for the first time in U.S. history, are predicted to not live as long as their parents. And the babies of today are being born pre-polluted with 200 to 300 chemicals found in the umbilical cord. So the jig is up. We really have to stop this, because the way we are living presently is unsustainable. And then the third prong, of course, is policy change. We were very active in getting the Gynecologic Cancer Education and Awareness Act passed by unanimous consent, the first of its kind in U.S. history. And now we're about to launch a new campaign, an initiative in Washington that will help the federal government offer manufacturers a kind of seal of approval that they would be able to put on their labels, so the homemaker that goes shopping can be a more informed consumer, not have to go to MIT to understand what the ingredients are, but just look for that government seal of approval that assures them that by today's standards, this product is carcinogen-free.
Wow, that's an amazing goal, and I think that you've done a lot already, and you're ready to do more for everybody.
Yeah, well, until things really change, and I'm seeing them change, and I'm very proud that Cancer Schmancer has been a leader in that change.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us in. We really appreciate it. You're doing a great job. I appreciate it. Not only you're talented, you're beautiful, you're also giving back to society, which is everything, right?
You know what? If you don't use your celebrity for the greater good, then you're wasting it.
I agree. And you're doing it to the great extent, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you
so much. Well, thanks, everybody. And until next time, just remember to enjoy.